Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, and we are meeting for another love circle. And today we are talking about recognizing voice of intuition. And it's just so perfect that last week we learned more about soul and how to build that connection with our soul, because intuition is is all about that. It's going to take us into that dimension. So first, let's just dive in. What is intuition? If you look at the Google definition, there was a time we used to look at the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition, but now we look at the Google one. It's the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So it's almost like I tell you something and you just know it. I don't need to convince you. I don't need to argue with you. You just know it and you're like, this is it. That's what we are doing. Or something comes in front of you and you don't even have to ask yourself a question. Why am I doing it? Why should I do it? Because that is the conscious function of our mind, that when we start to ask ourselves, why am I doing it? Would it be good for me? Would it not be good for me? Intuition is something you just know. It comes from a much deeper, bigger part of us. So that is what it is in definition. Now, if we look at the mental faculties, one of them is intuition. And I want to help you understand that piece so we all can start recognizing the voice of our intuition. Maybe at some part in your life, you were so connected with it, and then something happened, you lost it, and you're trying to find your way back to it. Or in some parts you're good, and some parts you're like, I have no idea what my intuition is saying. So we're gonna cover all of that. So the mental faculties are imagination, intuition, memory, reasoning, perception, and will. We are not going to touch others. We're just going to focus on intuition. That why intuition is a mental faculty. If you think about where is our mind, we know where our brain is, but brain is not mind. When you're thinking, we can see the activity in your brain. We can see the parts of brain that play a role in memory, but where is memory stored? Nobody knows. So the best guess that we have, it's almost like there's a field of energy around you that stuff gets stored in. It's a very high technology. We are still trying to create that level of technology, but in the universe, that technology already exists. So that's why intuition is your mental faculty. It's not your heart faculty. It's not your gut faculty. It's not your legs faculty. It's your mental faculty. And it's not like, too important to understand that, but we really want to talk about it's a mental faculty because where we get confused with intuition is the mental chatter and fear. One of the things we all have heard about, oh, it's my gut feeling. I'm feeling it in my gut. Guess what else you feel in your gut? Fear. Fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, fear of loneliness. So how do you tell which one is intuition and which one is fear? You're feeling it in your gut. So what intuition really feels like when we fully connect with it, it's a full body experience because your mind is your whole body. And it's part of the unconscious mind, not really conscious mind, the part of unconscious mind, not the one that get wired and conditioned for us to have specific habitual behaviors, is part of the unconscious mind that connects you with all. You become one with everything. Is that part of unconscious mind? And that is your soul. Your soul knows what has happened, what is happening now, what will happen in the future. Because let's just look at it very quickly. So this is God. We're just going to put a diagram here. God created divine spark. That is a lower vibration that who God is, who creator is, right? This is a lower vibration than that. And then after divine spark come the higher soul, then comes the incarnated soul, and then comes the body. So now, my beautiful picture of the body. Now, when this is the higher soul. By the way, the incarnated soul, it's the 12th chakra right here. It's right above our crown chakra. That is how, the reason there's like, so many layers, because it's a very refined energy coming to a lower dimension, to the point where it's physical. So it does go through those stages, but if you studied even in depth, there are many more other levels. Let's come back to this. So when this higher soul wants to talk to this body, hey, by the way, we came here to do this thing. I came in this body to do this thing. But the body forgets. Once we are born, once we go to the birth canal, I don't know what we came here to do. All we know, we came into this world. Maybe you were born into chaos. Maybe you were born into a beautiful, loving home. And then you just have to learn how to live. But the whole time, this higher soul is talking to you. It's right here with you. That is your intuition. It's telling, go here, go there. There is a constant communication, but the reason we don't hear it or we don't feel it, because it's a very subtle energy, very, very subtle energy. It's almost like, when you're sitting and a very slight wind comes, maybe it will move a feather a little bit, but then it's gone. But then there's no wind. And you're like, I swear there was this wind that I just felt. That's how that communication is. Because our mind is so busy with trying to remember things, we try to reason things, try to perceive things, want to have things, desires, and imagination, and all that is going on, that little subtle gets put into the background. And if we pay attention to, at any given time, there are three voices in our mind. One is voice of fear. Could be psychological fear, it could be physical fear. If it's physical fear, we need to pay attention to it. If it's psychological fear, we need to resolve it. The second one is voice of others. So it's like, I wanna say this to that person said this to me, my mom said this to me, what if that person says to me? That is like 99.9% of our mind. When I personally get stuck there, I tell myself, just stop. Eventually it does stop. But if we are not even aware of what's going on, the third voice is the voice of soul. We are not even going to hear it. We are not even going to pay attention to it, because we are so busy about the voice of others or voice of fear. Now, sometimes we say, I just know it. This person is lying to me. I know it, that's who they are. And we think it's our intuition. Many times, it's not actually our intuition, it's our fear. It's our fear of being abandoned. So we'd rather believe that this person is lying to me and, cut them out of your life, than be open to and be vulnerable to love and maybe get hurt in the process. So that is what we really want to learn. Which one is the voice of my soul? What is my intuition? Because intuition is here to guide you. When you're standing in a fork, that is your inner guidance. And there are some decisions in your life, no one can make them for you. Only you can make them for yourself. And if you can talk to the soul that came here to go through that experience, it becomes so much easier. And now that experience could be good or bad, how we label it. For example, people whose marriages end up not working out, when they got into the marriage, they were in it. The intuition was saying, go for it. So intuition is not about okay, if I listen to my intuition from now on, I will have no bad experience and everything would be rainbows and unicorns and ponies. That's not true. Intuition keeps you on the path that you're supposed to be. And sometimes that path could be walking into a lion's den. That's the experience you're here to have, because those are the skills that you want to build. So just keep in mind that intuition is not always going to lead you to the beautiful fluffy clouds. Yes, it does play a very big role in keeping you on track and staying out of confusion. That is what's really important. And also realizing you're not alone. There's someone talking to you all the time, and that is your higher self. And if we want to dig deeper into that, it could be like, spiritual guides, it could be angels, it could be God. We can get into all of that too. But we are not going to go there. We're going to stick to our higher self is talking to us, and that's intuition, because your higher self knows what's going to happen. You don't know it, but it knows. So if it's putting a course in front of you, or like, a food in front of you, and you feel like, I think I should eat it, I think I should go there, I'm having this feeling, I want to do it, and you follow it, you'll discover an opening to the next chapter of your life, to the next level of awareness. For me, one of the recent studies I started to do is I'm studying Kabbalah, and the way it came in front of me, it was literally like an ad, click, click, click. Within 2 minutes, I was enrolled. And after I was done doing that, I was like, wow, I didn't even ask myself. And when I got into metaphysical studies, came the same way. Somebody told me about it. 24 hours later, I'm already enrolled. I'm already doing the work. That is intuition guiding. It feels effortless. Now, our challenge is how to get over that pull within us, the fear that doesn't want us to get on the other side. So let's get into that. What is that? Now, you might have seen me do this in another class, especially I believe when we were talking about the soul. So let's say this is you, and this is divine light within you. And this is the darkness within you. Now, what happens when I am receiving a message? So that is light coming to me. It's a very subtle, refined energy coming to me. In that moment, if I am so occupied with the darkness within me, I'm not going to hear it. I need to be tapped into the light to a certain extent that I can hear it. So now, what are the feelings or emotions or things that are representative of the darkness within me? It's within us, so we can have something to compete against, so we can continuously become better. And the darkness within us, it shows us like, okay, you're halfway there, now you're there, now get to the next level. And that's why this work never stops. For example, if today, let's say, something bothers you, and then you do work on yourself, tomorrow it might not bother you. That is when you have grown a little bit more from that darkness, more towards your light. So I want to read this list of, I don't even know, I didn't even count it. These other vibrations that we feel within us, coming from the darkness within us, that cover the light that we are, and we cannot hear our intuition. So they are fear. If you are in fear, it's going to feel like I'm telling you, this is my intuition guiding me, but it's not your intuition, it's your fear. Intuition is a higher vibration. Fear is a very lower vibration. Insecurity. When we feel insecure in our relationships, we are so sure it's not going to work out, but the problem is I'm insecure. The day I become secure, the same relationship is going to be just perfect. So it's not our intuition. when we feel impatient, emptiness, worthlessness, when we feel hurt, when we feel insecure, when we feel hopeless, when we feel helpless, when we feel out of control, when we feel abandoned, when we feel lonely. This is like most of us most of the time. When we feel insignificant, when we feel bored, when we feel confused, sad, shamed, guilt. When we're feeling any of that, we are not hearing the voice of our intuition. Because again, it's very subtle energy. It comes and goes. You missed the time it was here because you're so worried about something. For example, let's say I have this feeling that the place I'm living is not good for my family, and now I want to move somewhere else. And I'll be like, I have this intuition that I should move somewhere else. But that feeling came from this place is not good for my family, and that is fear. Now, I'm not talking about if a person is looking in a very unsafe neighborhood. I'm not talking about extreme examples. But then I have to look at what am I so afraid of, or what is it about this place that I'm trying to run away from? It's very possible there's some discomfort that I don't want to face. I'd rather just move to a different town. And then when I move to a different town, the discomfort stays with me. And then I'm like, people here are weird. I need to go to another place. That is, but we would just say, hey, I'm just having this intuitive feeling to move somewhere else. Now let me show you a different way it will show up. One day you will just naturally feel that I'm not go to that other place. I went by that town and there's just something about it. I can't put my finger, but I just know. Intuition is always unknowing, and it's a full body experience because your unconscious mind is your whole body. It's a full body experience. Your whole body's in it. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Your conscious mind is going to lose it. The darkness within you is losing it. The fear wants to take over you. You're not even sure where you're going, how you're going to get a place there, where you're going to work, because now you're going to be away from this place, how everything will work out. But nothing can waver you. You'll just keep moving. That is intuition. That is where your soul is guiding you. Nothing feels weird in your stomach. Nothing feels weird in your chest or your lower back. Those are the areas where usually stuff starts to boil up. Your legs are not feeling weak. You're feeling very calm and grounded, and you just know it's going to work out. You just know it. You cannot convince somebody. You cannot reason with it. You just know it. So that is a place where we want to get in as many areas in our life as we want. And now let's dig into how to get there. How to get to a place where you can tell the difference between the voice of fear or all this long list of 20 things that I read to you, and this is actually my intuition guiding me. The first thing is learning to differentiate. If you can't even tell this thought is coming from fear, and I think this thought is coming from my intuition, from my soul, there's no point going any further. So the first is becoming aware of your own thoughts, questioning them, becoming curious about them. And another layer is feeling everything in your body, not just in your head. When you feel in your body has its own wisdom because it's part of unconscious mind. It's connected with your soul. Your soul knows what's going on in the parts that you cannot see. Your soul knows all of that. When you start feeling things with your body, let's say your kid comes home and your kid is like, I had such a terrible day in my school, right? All of a sudden you'll feel sad. You want to kind of rescue your kid. Before you do that, feel it in your body. Let that feeling go all over your body. When you're feeling it from your body, you're connecting with that invisible part of you that knows it all. So it's a habit. You start feeling everything with your whole body, not just with your heart, not just with your back, not just with your head, but with your whole body. And this is something, just try it and it will feel like you already knew it. Because as kids, we were very connected with our intuition. We experienced everything from our whole body, not just from our head. So differentiate the thoughts, start feeling everything from your whole body, and you will be able to start tell the difference. Oh, this is, this is fear. This is not my intuition. You'll be able to tell the difference. And biggest thing is learning to slow down. Because that subtle energy that's coming to you, it is so subtle that if you're spinning like this, your mind is going like this, you're not going to hear it in that noise. So what that would look like, you taking a pause every hour, just checking in with yourself, what's going on inside of me. Hey, soul, is there anything you want to tell me? What is going on in my head? It could look like that, or it could look like meditation, sitting in nature without your phone or without any other human around you, just being still. And just focusing on your breath. I did one of the love circle I did about achieving stillness. You can even, find that out and check that out to just build the skill of stillness. When everything is settled in within you, it's you and your soul. No one else exists then. One of my teachers say that the only two things that are real in your world is you and your creator. Everything else, everybody else, you have created them through your own perception, which is very, very powerful concept. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it and remind myself. But for that, I need to calm myself down, slow down. If you're a person who's always in a hurry, practice not being in a hurry. Practice slowing down, talking slower, walking slower, do everything slow. And you're going to start feeling that feeling, that communication that is coming to you at all time. One thing I wanted to share with you regarding this whole fear and, insecurities and impatience, the way our darkness takes over. So just close your eyes. Remember the last time where you actually felt this fear, this insecurity, the need to judge someone because they were just so wrong and you're so right. Just go to that. All the things that we feel like, we are self-righteous and everybody else is wrong. We're just going to get honest with ourselves. Go in that moment and now focus on the light that's around you. Pure white light within you, around you, engulfing you in its presence. That is the light that surrounds you all the time. Whether you know it, you don't know it, you believe it, you don't believe it, light is always around you. And now you can even ask the light. That's the last step. You can even ask the light, what should I do? Where should I go? What would be for the highest good of all? What would be good for me and for everyone else? Intuition is the voice of our soul. That's how the communication happens between that energetical presence and this physical presence. And that part of you does not know what harm is. That part of you does not look at things as good and bad. Even the person who has done the craziest thing to you, your soul has unconditional love for them, because at a soul level, we all are one. We are not separated. We are separated in this fragment reality where I am here, you're there, my computer is separate, this pen is separate. But at a soul level, we all are one. So when you feel like calling somebody and yelling at them, and you're like, my intuition is telling me I should do that, that's not your intuition. When you calm down, slow down, and ask the light, it would tell you, most likely, send them love. Accept them. See the world with their eyes. It will always guide you towards more love and more light. It's not going to guide you towards darkness. So one thing you can do, like, these things that I talked about, I'll say them again, write them down, maybe like, slow down. At some point, maybe I can create a slide and I can just leave that out there. So just pick the big one: fear, insecurity, impatience. And we all have, like, some of them right on the surface. So you know which one is yours. Fear, insecurity, impatience, emptiness, worthless, hurt, insecure, hopeless, helpless, out of control, abandoned, lonely, insignificant, bored, confused, sad, ashamed, and guilt. Whenever they visit you, whenever they come, sit with them, imagine the light around you, and ask the light, where should I go? What is an action that involves the highest good? Good for all, good for me, good for the person I don't like, good for my neighbor, good for the whole world. And you'll be surprised, the answers that will come, they're not going to be what you really want them to be, because you want revenge if someone has hurted you. But then the voice is guiding you, love that person, send them light. And then the discipline and honesty comes to actually listen to our intuition. So now let's just briefly talk about how we can use intuition to make decisions in our life or decide the direction of life that we can go in. First, of course, we have to practice connecting with that voice so we can start recognizing it by slowing down, by telling the difference, by asking questions, connecting with it. But whenever you have to make a decision, give yourself at least 24 hours, unless it's a major thing you have to think right on the spot. Give yourself at least 24 hours. Sleep on it, sit with it, ask for it. If you cannot hear a concrete answer, then just say, show me the answer. Allow me to see the answer. It could be like, a part of the darkness is covering you in a way that it's not fully separated yet, where you can see, you can receive from the light at that level. Maybe just, where you are in your growth, and that's okay. So what happens with that is someone else is going to come in your life, and you might end up having a conversation with them, and they will be the answer. I just had that experience last night. There was something I was thinking about that, of course, another program I wanted to join. And I was just marinating in, do I have the bandwidth? Do I need? I can see the pros and cons. I am checking in with my intuition, and it's just like, do it. It would be good. But then at the same time, I'm like, it's not in my whole body. Okay, that means I am blocking. I am not ready to receive all of it. So I just said this morning, show me the answer. I had a conversation with a friend today. I put it in front of the friend. I just intuitively, again, I felt like, ask this person. I asked, they helped me see the two sides, decision making. So sometime when something is so close to you, you might not be able to hear, not that the answer is not there. Then you can just ask, show me another way, the way that I'll be able to see it. Sometimes you might just see a sentence. One time I was so angry, so angry, which is rare for me to get to that level. And I just started talking to God. I am not hearing my intuition. I'm not hearing anybody. It's a one-way conversation at that point. And I was just saying, God, I love you. God, I love you. And I was going on the road, and I see on the side of a road a really big sign, God loves you. So that is how that divine part of me connected with me. God is saying, hey, we love you too. We know that you're in such a lower vibration, you cannot hear, the voice that's coming to you will show you in a visible form. So be open to receiving that as well whenever you are in that stuck moment. But making intuition, connection with your intuition, recognizing the voice of intuition, it's a lifestyle shift. We are so used to living with fear and stress and anything that we can touch and smell and see, that it feels unsafe to even believe or connect with something that we cannot see. But once you make that switch, following the guidelines I shared or wherever you learn that, once you make that switch, your life becomes so much lighter, so much easier, so much more fun. And that's why I'm saying it's a lifestyle shift. And maybe not everyone is going to do it, but if you do it, I can assure you, your life is going to be so much easier. You'll be able to make the biggest decisions with so much certainty that there's not going to be regret or, after 10 years, maybe I should have done that. You're going to be fully in it because you would understand whatever decision you're making, your soul is guiding you to it for the good or for the bad. We judge, we say this is a good decision, this is a bad decision, but in the truth of the universe, every decision is just a decision. There's no good or bad. Everything just is. Every bad decision has always led you to something wonderful. Every good decision has always led you to something wonderful. So let's create that inner safety within us with this new way of thinking and connect with our intuition. This is all for today. If you want to take a deeper journey with me and truly connect with your soul, heal the parts of you that are concealing that connection, that are keeping you away from it, I would love to be your guide on this journey. You can find me right here on Facebook, or if you're watching a random video on YouTube, you can just Google Alia the Love Coach, and I would love to connect with you. I will see you all next Thursday. I'm sending so much love. Bye.